Ladies and gentlemen, welcome traders. What is going on? How is everybody doing today? Welcome to the Human Performance Lab. All right, let's just get into it. Let's see here. Price action is currently moving down off of the area that I was looking at earlier today that held. It's now trading below. So that's the market today, up $117. Not one of my better showings, but I'm trading live and I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not trying to figure out how to trade, trying to figure out how to trade live. Two different things. Trade live while streaming. Not exactly easy to do. So let's get into the replay. And I will need to leave around 5 o'clock from the stream today. So I have to go run an errand. But then I will be back on a lot this weekend. So don't you fret or worry. I will be around. A lot this weekend. So we're going to go ahead and replay yesterday. Simplicity, welcome. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. I'm getting a replay of yesterday set up. We're going to start this from 0830. That way it gives me plenty of time to get the pre-market analysis going. And then we're going to replay yesterday. Today I was up $117. Not one of my better displays of trading today. I didn't have a lot of trades. Didn't get into the long position, which I should have been, but I'm still trading. I'm still trying to figure out how to trade live in terms of streaming. It's not easy to do. And I'm kind of struggling with it a little bit. Yesterday I had 53 trades in total. Was up $1,600 trading micros and no expense trades in that at all yesterday. And that was me not trading, not streaming. So here's the replay information. Let me get chat up so I can see everybody. See if there's any questions. River, welcome. And let's get into it. Forex Gold, welcome. All my usual spammers are getting ready to start spamming. Be good times. All right. Pre-market analysis. Let's get this over to the section here for TikTok so everybody can see the chart and what I'm talking about. Let me decrease it in size a little bit. There we go. All right. Let's get our days into the overall profile. We want to leave 2 out. And here we go. So what are we doing in today's market? We are trading in unfair lows. We have a low volume node here that we could be looking for possible buyers. Okay. We do have a daily area around the same area, no, 775, right down in here which is going to be more of this high volume node. So let's just go ahead and move this down here to include the high volume node. And we're trading below yesterday's low into unfair lows and looking for a possibility of moving back into value. If price action moves down below here into this area, we could extend the lows a little bit, but we're continuing to trade in value. I'm not looking for a trend to develop at this point in time. Stan, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. And if anybody has any questions, please let me know. This is definitely the session to be asking questions. And so now what we're going to do is go into our 30-minute chart. And in the context of our 30-minute chart, we are currently trading in value, and we're coming off of value area high and coming down into or near and around VPOC and value area low. Price action gets through here. We're going to come back into the value area low. We have a low volume node down here in this area where we could see possible rejection. This area here is not that big of importance to us anymore because it's actually trading a value of the 30-minute. Or value of, that area is trading within value of the 30-minute. Now, why don't we want to trade in value? We don't necessarily want to trade in value because we're not anticipating price action to reject around value. We're anticipating price action to rotate around value. What can rotation cause? Chop. What do most traders want to stay out of? Chop. And so what we want to do is bring our area into an unfair low area below value where we'll be anticipating rejection. What's the difference between chop and rejection? When price action trades around value, we're anticipating price action to spend some time there. If price action spends time around value, what does that mean? That means possible rotation, possible chop, especially if the chop is a low range. Well, what happens if price action comes down into an unfair low below value? Price action hasn't spent as much time there. How do we know? Because it takes time for volume to develop into areas. This high volume here takes time to develop. It doesn't happen just immediately. But you'll say, okay, well, down here in this unfair low, you got a lot of volume there too. Absolutely. But look at what price is doing. Rejecting, traded around and through it a little bit. But where'd this go? Another low volume node. So if we trade through the area, we're anticipating rejection below us. So rejection. Price action comes down here. What we anticipate? Possible rejection. If it is rejection, price action could come down, can come up through, looking for a little pullback. We don't want to call a low just in case we move down into the lower areas. We want to be long from here. And when I say want to be long, we want to look for long positions, long entries on a shorter time frame chart around these areas. Just like that. Okay. And then what can happen? So glad I just found this live thinking about buying deep charts. Welcome. Deep charts. That's an interesting concept that you just brought up. The reason why I use deep charts is because it doesn't have a lot of indicators. As you can tell, I don't have any indicators on my charts at all. It allows you to draw custom profiles, and it gives you a lot of options in the context of order flow. And that's exactly how I trade. And they already have the templates and everything else for all of these to be made. So it's very simple. This is simply a Globex chart. I've been trading for a long time. You know, back when I was trading, it's called Globex. It's the overnights. It's just all three sessions, right? You got Asia, London, and the US session. So they're all combined. And it's very, very easy to set up. I mean, I'll show you how easy this is to set up in terms of profiles, okay, or order flow. Watch this. Click this, you get your histogram. You click this and you get your numbers. That's it. It's difficult. To set up a chart like this, like in a platform like Sierra Charts, oh man, it could take hours, maybe a few days before you get everything set up in Sierra Charts like it was supposed to. Now, why do I bring up Sierra Charts? It was one of the first platforms that had footprint charts in it back in about 2011, 2012. This is why I like deep charts. You know, a lot of people will say ATAS, or however you pronounce it, ATAS, right? Bookmap. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I have not figured out how to use the heat map. I really haven't. I've tried to. I've looked at it. I just don't see it. I really need to learn order flow first, though, to be honest. Well, we're going to get into that in just a few minutes. I am going to specifically work on order flow today. And it's going to be a little bit fast because we're going to be on a 2-minute chart, right? So it's going to be a little bit fast. So you're just going to have to kind of follow, but pay attention, take some notes, see what it is that I'm doing, ask questions. I'm definitely going to look at the look over here for you and really ask questions. Okay, that way I can answer them as we're going through and I'm replaying, so we can pause. We've got plenty of time. Okay, just stay with me and ask your questions. See, price is going to be moving pretty fast, but I'm going to teach you how to read this information. Okay. Yep, absolutely. Let's do it. Volume profile is what really interests me. Also the footprint, but the footprint confuses me. Okay. So this is how to put it all together. Okay. You utilize the profiles to find your areas. Okay. Your areas of importance. All right. And we're not talking about pullbacks and we're not talking about these things, right? Stop looking at the markets as price. The markets are an auction, okay? And I'm going to give you a quick rundown of why and how to read order flow and why order flow is important, okay? Price action. When price action is moving, it's moving. And if you're just looking at a candlestick, it's just moving, right? You might have some wicks, you might have some other things, but it's just going. When you add order flow into the mix, what you're doing is you're looking now at participants. You're looking at volume. And why is this important? Because the markets aren't just price. The result of participants is price. Okay? So when you're looking at price, you're only looking at the result. When you put the two together, you're looking at an auction. And what is an auction? An auction is just that, an auction. But what does an auction need? Participants. If there's no participants in the auction, okay, it's just going to stay flat. It's never going to move. But if you turn around and add participants, one side of participants is stronger than the other, then price action is going to start moving directionally, okay? When price action is not moving directionally, you're going to have market makers enter the market to provide and facilitate trade. And they're going to facilitate trade around where participants were aggressive at one point in time, or where there's a lot of participants. So look at it this way. Price is like a path, okay? And in the path, you can go up and you can go down, all right? And you're utilizing the order flow to tell you which side there's more participants on, going up or going down. That's it. If you can visualize that, if you can understand that concept, you're going to be able to understand auction market theory, you're going to be able to understand profiles, and you're going to be able to understand order flow much easier. Okay, let's get into it. Plan's already done for the day. We have pre-market done. We already know our areas. We already see price moving into our areas. Let's get into this. What's happening here? Price action at the moment is coming down, and look at all of the participants here in this area. A lot of participants. Price action is probably going to break the low. Why? A lot of participants at the low. So you're anticipating price action to come back. Now we're rejecting off of VWAP. What's VWAP? VWAP is really where the volume weighted average of price. Okay, so what it's doing is it's looking at all of the volume and it's weighting it. VWAP is actually up here in the yellow line. We were 1, 2, 3 standard deviations away from VWAP, which means that we're pretty overextended at the moment. Price action is in our area already of interest, and we're in an overextended market. We have a lot of volume at the low here, and price action could not really make much of a lower low or an extension to the downside. That's not sellers down here, that's buyers. Price action moves back above of the open. We don't have a lot of accumulation of buyers up here. And where do we go in price? We go right up here to the other side of where there's a lot of volume. So we're rotating between this area here, waiting for participants to extend above or below current price. Any questions on that? Price action, look at the volume up here, anticipating the highs to possibly break. Where are we going to rotate into? Down here around this high volume. It acts like a magnet. The volume up here right now is much more to the downside than up here. So we're back into the rotational sense. Okay, price action is accumulating a little bit lower. Anticipate the low of the bar to break. Right down to test the high volume again. All right. Makes sense so far, but you said we're 3 standard deviations leveled low. What exactly does that mean? 3 standard deviations. This is VWAP right here on the daily perspective. Okay, this is all of the all sessions. So this is actually the overnights, Asia and London. Okay, so this price here is where the majority of volume is traded. They can call this fair value. They call it all sorts of stuff. Okay, this is that line, the yellow one. You take this line and then the 3 purple lines. Each purple line is 1 standard deviation away from this line here. Okay, so you have 1 standard deviation, 2 standard deviations, 3 standard deviations. That's what these lines are here for. All right, you do the same thing above. 1, 2. Well, the first one's right here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what price is doing, what volume is doing is this is where majority of volume has traded, kind of like a VPOC. Volume point of control. Okay, but this is on the overnight session. Price action is moved down and we're down here at the lower band. When we get down here to the lower band, think of it like an oversold condition. And oversold conditions were too extended. Anticipate price action to have a reversal. All right. Anticipate price action to not continue to the downside. Anticipate it to start moving to the upside. Does that make sense? Exactly. Yep. So lower bands, upper bands. That's it. Right. So we got this band here. This is in an extended position. This could get overextended. By the time we get down here, we're pretty overextended. The same thing on the upside. When we get into here, we still have room to move. When we get up here, we might see some rejection. When we get up here, anticipate a possible reversal. Okay? So that's where we're at currently in this market condition. So now let's go ahead and move into the US session. To do that, I'm going to pull up this. We're going to speed it up a little bit. This is the reason why I have deep charts right here. This is one of the easiest and best replays you can possibly get. Why is replays important? Because replays allows you to practice. Think about professional athletes. LeBron James, right? Has a basketball. Do you want LeBron James basketball that he won a championship with, or do you want a skill? Which one do you want? The skill or the basketball? When you show up for the markets to trade, you're showing up to the game. But no professional athlete that's any good and stays a professional just shows up for the game. They show up to practice, 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 practice game. And they practice a heck of a lot more than they show up to the game. So we need a replay that allows us to practice and makes practice easy. Deep Charts does that as well. I love the replay function. It's so easy, it's so quick, it's seamless. And I've never had any problems with it. The only problems I've ever had with it is just user error, me doing something dumb with it. Now, what's happening here? We have a rejection bar down here, okay? We have a higher high, price actions coming back down here into this high volume right here. If we weren't coming into the US Open, I would be a buyer here. This gives us price action. This gives us volume. This gives us correlation to what we're seeing in the auction. Participants are moving price up. We pull back. We anticipate price action to pull back to a high volume area. The highest volume area are these yellow boxes for each one of these bars. It's called VPOC, volume point of control. Price action moves up from one of our areas. We've got rejection below us. What's rejection? Well, look, I'm going to show you what rejection is. Rejection is only in part, a wick, okay? Only in part a wick. Most individuals are going to be trading off of this, and they're going to say, oh, that's rejection. No. It's only part of it. Look at the high volume down here. See how this volume here is actually just as high as it is over here? We came down below this low on higher volume or just as high volume, and we weren't able to extend the range lower. We rejected. That's not sellers down here. That's buyers. How do we know? Because price action rejected from this area came up through the open and closed in the top 1/3 range of the bar. Buyers, the only way for price action to move the way it did was for buyers to own this bar. And look at delta. What's delta? This is total volume. This is limit orders, market orders, all of them, okay? This is only market orders. So we segment out market orders to the limit orders to look at total volume. Then we say we want to look at the delta, the market orders. Market orders came in. There was selling orders that came in to make the low. Market orders came in. Market orders came in more than the sell orders. That's why it's green, right? More. And we closed near the high. Means aggressive orders came into the market and pushed price higher, showing that buyers own this bar. Okay? Then price action moves higher from that. Why is that important? Because if you want to go long, you want to see higher highs and higher lows. That's a trend. Now, just because you have an area of congestion like this does not mean that you're in a trend. But all trends start with higher highs and higher lows. Every single one. So we want to see that same type of setup before we're entering the market for a couple reasons. Just because buyers own this bar does not mean that buyers are going to own the next bar. How do we know that buyers are still supporting this area? Because we have to make a higher high. If a higher high is not made, I'm sorry guys, it doesn't matter what this bar looks like. Buyers are not in control of the market, because buyers aren't even strong enough to make a higher high. And so what happens? We come down and we test into this area. We reject again, right? That's a great entry area right here. Price action moved up and made a higher high, immediately came back down again into the area. And look at delta. Delta was strong, less delta from here to here. Price action's not able to make a higher high. The way this bar rejected, the way that this moved up, at least move your stop to a break even. Don't take a full expense here. Here's the thing. The market does not pray to the same gods that we do. When we're sitting here hoping and praying that the market is going to continue in our direction after it's coming against us before it hits our stop, the markets don't care what gods we're praying to. They pray to they run off of their own gods, not the same ones we do. So they don't care about what we think. They don't care about what we're worried about. They don't care about who we're hoping and praying to. All right? They strictly care about participants. And the participants aren't praying to your gods either because they don't know you. Exactly, Ab. Market gods. Exactly. So price action broke the low. If you didn't move your stop to a break even, you just took an expense. If you did move your stop to a break even, you're good to go. Now, what happens? We do the same thing. Market makes another lower low, okay? It makes the higher high up here, right? We reject in here a little bit, okay? When we come down here, what happens? We have high volume down here. High volume, okay? We don't want to see high volume here. We're anticipating lows to be tested. The low is tested and we have high volume down here again. High volume barely breaking this low. Now, is it sellers or is it buyers? If it's sellers, we're going to break the low. We just did. And sellers are coming down now more aggressively. Look at Delta. Delta's dropping, meaning we have market orders coming into the market. What do market's orders do? Drives price. So we're anticipating price to be driven down here. Now we have Delta coming in here on the buy side. What are buyers doing right now? They're coming up but rejecting the high volume. Now we come down to test the open. Watch Delta. See, we're trying to get a down bar here, but Delta's still strong. Anticipate this high to break. Anticipate the high to break. Delta came off from the break of the low here, okay? Still buy Delta, not sellers. Still anticipate this high to at least be tested now. Price action is trying to move up. Delta's moving up a little bit. Watch what happens. Up, down, up, down. Watch Delta. See that big boost in Delta there? Couldn't even break the high. Couldn't break the high. Buyers are not strong here yet. So you don't want to look at this area for a buy yet. Delta comes off, anticipate price action to test this low. Price of Delta's moving back up again, right? Price action can now break the high, but we're not even testing the high. And so when you're looking at the fight in here, watch Delta, watch price, know what you're anticipating depending on what they're doing, and wait for it to do whatever it is that you're anticipating at that time. And look, price action is not doing a thing here. This is market makers making a market, waiting for participants to get aggressive. Then boom, price action breaks the low, Delta turns negative. What are we looking at now? Definitely not looking going long here. This is a 2-minute time frame here. Hussein. So this is a 2-minute time frame up here. 2-minute minis, or micros, 2 minutes micros. I have a 30-minute over here. I have a 5-minute over here. I have a daily over here. I've got a 60-minute around here somewhere. Oh, it's behind OBS right now. And I do have another 60-minute chart up, and that 60-minute chart, I will bounce it back and forth from a 4-hour, a 2-hour, and a 1-hour, depending on what the market's doing. Okay, back here in an area, Delta's stronger now. This Delta could not really break the low, and we closed near the low of the bar. You anticipate sellers to be aggressive here. Nope. Buyers came in once we broke one tick below this low, and now we have buyers showing signs of being in control of this market again. The entry is a 2-minute that I use. Sometimes I'll go down to a 1-minute. I don't like to go down below 1 minute. I just don't. I don't like seconds. I don't like range, volume bars, none of that. I do not make my plan off of a 2-minute chart. My PMA is done off of a daily and a 30-minute perspective. If I have to use other time frames, I will. But time frames, there's no magic time frames. Think of time frames as a lens on a camera. You're just focusing in and focusing out. If you need more space in your chart to be able to see the price you need, increase the time frame. If you don't need that much data, decrease your time frame. That's it. Time frames do not matter when it's coming to make your plan. Time frames do matter when you're coming in here to enter around the position. If you're doing a intraday comparatively to a swing, you're probably going to be entering off of a swing trade off of a higher time frame. But here's the thing. If you do that, you're welcome, absolutely. If you do that, every single type of trading you're going to do is going to have its own entry criteria. But if you learn how to enter off of a scalp, you can enter a scalp off of any time frame. Now you can day trade, you can scalp, day trade, swing, and position trade all from the same entry criteria. You do not need a new plan for any of it. Now you just adjust the way you manage the position. That's it. So now you can scalp, you can swing or day trade, you can swing, and you can position trade all from the same exact entry criteria. All right. The other thing when you're building your plans, learn how to read market conditions. There's 3 different market conditions. You got trends, you've got balance. So trend up, trend down, which is 1. Balance, which is a range, which is this. Okay. Then the third one is a breakout. A breakout is its own market condition. Why? Because the breakout is going to be the shift, the market shift between a trend or moving back into a range. Do not expect a breakout to turn into a trending market, because a breakout can do 3 things. It can either trend, it can move sideways in consolidation, and sometimes very tight consolidation, or it can move back into value. Mark your market shifts. How do I mark my market shifts? I mark my market shifts by putting in my custom profile on the shift bar. What is a shift bar? It is the bar that closes below the prior range that was my prior area of value. I mark the market shift bar so I can be aware of what it is, and I can wait for the market to do what it's going to do to tell me what kind of market condition it's in before I start trading again. If it breaks down through here and starts to go, I can look for a pullback for a trend continuation play to the downside. If we come up, we're coming back up into value area high. If we come back down into value area low, we're back in balance and not a trend, traded accordingly in the context of balance. If price action turns around and does one of these things, we're in a period of consolidation and we have to wait for the market to either give us the indication that's in a trend or it's going to move back to value. And you could see this as a possible trend, see this as possible rejection, anticipate it to possibly move back up into value area. To do that, Oh, so rude. Hold on. If you put your balanced area on the shift bar, you're immediately building value into the area, and you automatically know what market condition you're in. Immediately it goes up to value area high, down to value area low. This is not a trend, this is value. Moves back up, it rejects off of these lows, moves up back to value area high. Low volume node over here, look for a shorting opportunity. Price comes back down again into unfair lows of value. Look for your low volume node and look for a reason to enter the position back into the long side. Breaks back down again, does not close below. You're still in value because you didn't close below the previous range. What's up, Shiva? Yes, you are back in. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. It's good to see you. Any questions on that before we go back to the footprint charts and get into this for hunting potential long positions here? What time is it? 9:16. So any questions on any of that? Let me pause it real quick before we move into the open. All right, let's go ahead and move forward. So we're going to hit play, 9:19. I'm going to move this over down. Let's move it. I'm just going to move it over here. Anybody on Tube and Twitch will be able to see it. You can't see it on TikTok, but I want you to be able to see the screen for the order flow. You don't need to see what I'm doing in the context of manipulating the replay. 9:27, 9:28, 9:29, 9:30, open of the market. We're going to continue moving through here at 9:30, okay? Because we don't trade the open, all right? We're going to wait till about the 9:15 mark, or not, excuse me, 9:45 mark. 9:40, 9:41, 9:42, 9:43, 44, 45, bring it back down to 1. Now what happened? We got a rejection from our areas. Market move without us. Beautiful. Don't get crazy with this. Okay? Don't come in here and expecting now, oh my God, this whole move just happened. I need to get in here, and start chasing it. Wait. Be patient. There is plenty of time and opportunity in the market for us. All right? We don't need to be in each position. The way I look at this was somebody else's opportunity. All right? Let them have their opportunities. We're going to wait for ours. All right? Think of yourself as a hunter. These are your areas, and you're going to hunt around your areas. All right? That's all you're doing. And if you're not in an area, don't go hunting. Do you look levels with high volume? I look levels with low volume. Then my entry points, I'm looking for levels of high volume. Why? Low volume on a higher time frame shows rejection. When you're in a lower time frame, you should be anticipating price action to be rotational with high volume. High volume attracts price like a magnet, not low volume on a short-term chart. Long-term, you want your low volume because that's where that's where less participants have played before. Hasn't spent much time there, and if it hasn't spent much time there, it's probably rejected from there. Where in your shorter time frame charts, you're looking for rotation. You're looking for price to test around areas. Where do we test around areas? High volume, no difference in value. So don't treat volume the same on each time frame, just like don't treat every market condition the same. Individuals that go out there and do back tests and stuff, and you can see them online, right? They have mean reversion, trend, and all these other different things that you can do and methodologies. They treat every single methodology the same, and they treat it within, they trade it within every single market condition. And they're like, oh, well, the only one that's profitable is mean reversion. Well, the only way you can get into mean reversion if you're doing some form of volume profile analysis, okay? It's the only one that's been profitable over 15 years, but it's not very profitable. It is profitable, but only like 3-4%. It definitely does not come close to beating the market's average or anything else along those lines. But what did they do? Treated every single market condition the same. They did not bounce between trending and mean reversion based upon shifting market conditions. Keep that in mind. So now price action's trading above the area, right? It's coming down and testing into this high volume here. If sellers are strong, we're going to see more higher volume in here, and we're going to see the low break. If sellers are not strong, we're going to see rejection from this area and price action to move back up into higher areas of volume above us. And right now we're showing signs of being rotational. So we're already rotational in this high volume area. How does high volume get created? By the market spending time there. How does low volume get created? By the market not spending time there. See how we're coming in here and testing these lows in here? See the higher volume? I'm anticipating this low to break. There it goes. Testing here into this area. If we break this low, we should expect momentum to come into the market, and that's exactly what we just saw was the momentum. Why momentum coming into the market? Because we broke a low and kind of a more significant low where there's lower volume below it. Anticipate price action to get through that area pretty quickly to come back into the higher volume area. And we're right back into our areas again. Isn't that lovely? We didn't chase the long. We came right back down into one of our areas in here. Now let's see if we get a setup. High volume kind of at the low. So I'm still anticipating this low to break down here. We don't really have rejection yet. So really actually like to see this low break anyhow, anticipating some form of rejection. An isolated low that we can index off of, looking for a possible continuation play to the upside. Just trying to make it so you guys can see it a little bit better. Price action tried to test the highs, couldn't get above there. Cycling through. See, tested into the higher volume here. Look at the higher volume over here. Same thing, tested into that area, the high volume. Holding this area here. See all this volume in here? If this volume was sellers, we would be breaking the low right now. Look at this buyer here, 700, 745, boom, broke the low. Beautiful, exactly what we wanted. See the higher volume stepping in here. Anticipate price action to be rotational here in this area. Where's the next low at? We don't really have one until right below here. Let's see if we can get some rotation into the market here. There we go. See the rotation? Down here in this low volume, up here to this high volume, reject off the high volume. We have a bar that closed near its low. Sellers are in control there. As previous month low, 28.20. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. See, who's saying you already see areas of the longer term. Use those areas of the longer term and match them with the participants through order flow. And you're going to start seeing some patterns developing around the areas that you're seeing. Well done. Well done. You haven't taken any trades today. So this is a replay. I took 2 trades today, only 2 trades. So here, let me show you. Let me show you what I've been doing. Okay. This is kind of important, and I need to find the replay button so I can pause this real quick before we continue moving forward. This is a replay from yesterday. Let me show you what I've been doing live. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Completely honest with you. I have been struggling trading live on stream. Okay? I've been struggling. I traded live on stream all week except for yesterday. And I wasn't planning on coming back and trading on stream again. Okay? But I have participants that are like, this is really helpful. Can you at least try? So I came back and did it again. Okay? So my first 2 days on the stream, I turned around, was only up 119 and 225. I was anticipating price action to be much more rotational. Okay. Then I turned around and was down 1223. How did 1223 happen? I was still trading the micros and the minis and not the micros. Okay. I'm in a trade. If I select 150, I can only have a $4,500 drawdown. I took a 1350 hit in the market, which is too wide of a stop. Okay, so I had to adjust my money management. So I went on Sim. I took, and you guys can watch this as I recorded it. I mean, I was doing it live, so you can just watch the stream. It was one of my streams from 2 days ago in the morning session. Just look for the live replay. Today's the 16th day. Look for the 14th day, and you'll see the trades. I went off on Sim, and I had my next position was up $1,600. I would have ended up the day positive. Then yesterday I traded on my own. I wasn't live. Look, 53 trades. I did a lot of scalping in this day here. 53 trades. Not a single one of them was an expense. They were all revenue trades. Up 1633 on the day. All right. That's my first week of trading live in an evaluation. I was trading live first when I first started streaming 4 weeks ago. I was trading live in a cash account, but a cash account's not going to help you guys. Why is a cash account not going to help you? Because a lot of you are trading in these prop accounts. And I need to show you how to do all of this within the accounts that you're using, not within the accounts that I can use really well because I've got the access to the cash. Okay. And then today I was only up $126. That's all I was up today. With all the market movement, I was only up $126. I had 2 trades. 3, excuse me. One was a break even. One I was down $37 in. And then my next one I was up $140, $150 in whatever it was and ended up the day 117. Okay. But I came back and traded live today. Today should have been a very good day for me. Today should have been a very good day for me because the second I got off, I was down $37 when I got off stream. Second I got off stream, like 2 minutes later, I saw a great scalp position, took the scalp position, picked up $150. That's just how I trade. All right. So there we go. Vito, how's it going? It's good to see you. Hope you had a great day today. All right, let's get back into this. We're back down here into the area. We have our rejection beneath us. What are we waiting for now? We want to see this price action come up and close around the high of this bar. Okay, first, that shows signs of strength. Top 1/3. We want to see a higher high pop into the market. Then we want to see a pullback back here into this higher volume range to give us a long entry setup off of our area that we got from our longer term charts. From the volume profile, moving into the 30-minute. higher high. Now we're waiting for the pullback to come in to that area. You don't want to enter here. It's too far up. Your risk is way too wide. You want to wait for price action to come back down into your area. This is a replay. We got to be on sim. Right here into this high volume. You want to enter around the high volume. Why? Because you're anticipating price action to come back into the high volume area, because that's where it tests. So we're looking at price action to come up, break through our areas, come back down into our high volume area. What happens if that doesn't happen? If it doesn't come back here, we can get another setup at a higher area. It's fine. We don't have to be in the first one. We have room. How do I know we have room? Because we can move all the way back up here into this value area high. All right, we've got plenty of room. And then initial balance is above us as well. And so is VPOC that we could be using to look for targets in all of those areas. All right. Give me 1 second, I'm sorry. All right. Now, do we get the pullback? Don't know. We're going to find out. If you want to scale into positions, you can do half your positions here in this area, half your positions into this area. You want to put your stop kind of below this area here. So you kind of want to be as tight as you possibly can within that context. Where's your stop going to go? If it's here, right about here, with 4 micros, about $266 risk. Where are we looking at price to go? Just below the 969 area. So if we get in around the 730, we're looking for 969. That's a little bit more than a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. Not too shabby. Now let's see what happens. Alex, I hope that answered your question in terms of the trades today. In the afternoons, I replay, I practice. There we go. We hit our entry point. Price action's coming down deep, right? Into this area, because we anticipate price action to come in and attract into this area. All right. Now we're looking for a possible continuation play to the upside. We expect price action to kind of move away from this area a little bit, possibly come down in here. And if it does, reject and come back up to this area. If it comes up to this area and starts to trade through it, just like here and just like here, we're not anticipating price to spend a lot of time in here. So anticipate price to come up and push itself back up above this area. Price action is coming back down again a little bit. That's absolutely fine. We have a stop down here for a reason in case if it does come against us and it does stop us out. We're still looking for rejection in this area. That's why our stop is below it. The high volume here, see that high volume? Okay. Expect the low to break. Stopped out. Down 266 so far on the day. All right. It's 9:58 in the morning. Now it's time to regroup and wait for our next position, our next entry, because we're still holding our areas here. All right. Expenses is part of the game. If you're gambling, you always want to win. And if you take in an expense, it's going to hurt you. All right. If you're trading as a business, okay, Again, trading as a business. You're going to have revenue and you're going to have expenses. And if you look at this in the context of revenue and expenses, then you're not going to get hurt by having an expense, because you have trades that every business has expenses. All right. So just think of it in that context. And a 266 expense in any prop account, you're still just fine on the day. All right. 2 to 3 expense trades in a row, maybe you need to think about waiting to trade for another day, depending on what your size of your account is. We're right back here in this context again, and we're going to put our stop right below this area. You can do 154 if you want. You can normalize it to a 250, whatever it is that you want to do. Price actions rejection out of the area. We have our highs here. See the buy volume coming in from Delta. See the high volume coming in off the highs. See the lower volume coming in, high volume off the highs here, this low volume here. There's your rejection. Your high volume, your low volume. Up 402. I am not going to allow this position to come back and stop me out and leave me for an expense trade being up $400 in a position. It's not going to happen. Hussein, see you Monday. Absolutely. You're so welcome. And I'll be streaming this weekend too. I'm doing a lot of practice this weekend, as I got a lot of things working right now. A lot of things that I'm working on, a lot of things that I'm putting together. The community has just been, you just want more information. So I'm building a lot of things in the background right now. More to come on that once I get everything situated this weekend, and start, getting things put together. There's also going to be more training videos over on Discord, as well. Anybody that wants to join Discord, so you can have access to the free trading videos, and everything is free. There's nothing for sale or anything else. Okay, there's the stop, right? We just hit our stop. We just hit our stop in the area because I didn't want to take an expense trade. But we're holding this area again. See how we have our low volume? See how we're back into our area again, right? Let's wait and see what happens here. Let's wait and see what happens. Higher volume above us, trying to test the low again. Watch our delta. Watch the delta. The delta is important. If we don't break this low and we move into to positive delta here, we're going to put ourselves back into the position again. You would think here on this bar with the rejection, but look, you have buying delta still in this bar, and we closed above the open. That's not necessarily rejection coming in to this market. What we want to watch is this area in here for this low volume. Because we're in this area, I'm doing a day trade here and not a scalp. If I was doing a scalp, I would have been out with $100 or $200 in this position. All right. You don't have to move your stop as quickly to break even as I do. I just don't like to take a position where I'm up $400 or $500 and turn it into an expense trade. And then those that want to join Discord for TikTok, let me get you the link here. Sorry, I was hunting another position here. There it is. DJ Vito, are you still here? See how we're not accumulating volume here around these lows? Again, not accumulating volume here at these lows. price action is not moving up right now, but we're not accumulating that volume. It's like we're a coil ready to spring out. And let's see if we get that springing action to happen above this high. High volume, anticipate the highs to break. Is that high volume up in here? That high volume's up there for a reason. And look at your delta. There's buyers up there. Anticipate the high to break. We're just waiting right now. Waiting to see what happens here. We're in another area above us. Rejection happened, right? Watch this very carefully because we could be getting rejection here too, but the high volume up here, I'm anticipating this high to break. See how we have less volume up here, right? It's kind of caused the rejection. Here, we have higher volume. And if it's buyers, we should be breaking the high. If it's not buyers, it could be sellers and we could be breaking the low down here. So I'm watching this pretty carefully. There's our pop. There's our pop. Now expecting price action to get through here, get through the second band of VWAP, and for that to hold out as possible support into the market as we start moving up into higher prices. And where are we looking for a potential target in this market? Right up here. 282 risk with a 1796 profit target. Any questions? Any comments? Any concerns? So we broke the high here, coming back through, right? Looking for this area to hold as possible support. If we come back down through this area, I'm going to be quick to move my stop to a break even again in case we break these lows. But right now I want to give this market a bit more time. I want to give it less time on the first test. Why? Because that first test, that's our first test, right? Rejecting here into this area, but here we have acceptance above the area. So now I want to give it room. I want to be aggressive on my risk, on my initial entry because of the rejection in the area above us. Now we have acceptance outside of the area above us. I want to give my stop more room. Does that make sense? This is trading, guys. This is trading. Rejection from the highs. Coming back down through the area. I'm watching this pretty closely here. I'm watching the volume. Coming back near my open, see how that volume. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit aggressive here on my stop. Risk a little bit less. I want to watch and see what happens here in this area. See how we're rejecting? Now we're gaining that volume in here, right? This is probably going to come back and stop me out again. There it is. There's the stop. Okay. So now we've had this whole area, right? Down 440 on the day right now. Okay. Trading through our areas. Yesterday when I traded this and I was up, these positions here, I was scalping. I'm not scalping the positions here. I'm trying to show you guys what we're looking at and what we're doing in the context of day trading, not scalping. If you're scalping and you're up $400 or $500 and you take an expense trade, then you're not doing the right things. In here, I took a position in here, I took a position in here, and when this one came out, I was up like $150, $200 on the position. This one up here, I was up like $250, $300 on the position. Then it came down here, it broke through in this area, and I was already going long again off of this area. And then that area here, I was already in a break-even position. And so I'm much more active when I'm not live. Here, I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to show you how to scalp a position real quick. No, you're not going to take a $564 expense. This is only here in case the market just absolutely comes against me. But I'm going to show you how to scalp here. Just went through 2 day trade positions. We're down 440. We're going to get those funds back. And I'm going to show you how. Holding the high volume here. Reducing the risk out of the position. I'm watching the delta here. We need to see it turn green. It turns purple again. Taking some more risk out of the position. Back to the entry. Watching what's going to happen up here in the area. Now below this high volume, what was 560 in risk is now only 132. I don't like that. I don't like how we made the high there and immediately popped back down again. Don't like that at all. But I'm going to hold this high volume here. I'm going to hold the high volume, anticipating price to possibly come back and test this area. And if it does, it's going to stop me out, and that's okay. It's 10:12. We're down 440 on the day. We still have the green delta. It hasn't switched down into the purple yet. We're holding here. I'm anticipating the coil to come in here and pop and break this high. Boom. We're up 200. I'm locking in 46. We're up 3. No, we're up 262. Up 250, 268. 228, 212. Stop me out again. Okay. Now we're down 394. Holding the open. Still the delta. We're going to get back in again. Right above the high volume. Give ourselves a little bit of room here. Watch and see what price does. Risking 492 right now. Watching what it does above this high volume. Watching delta here on the new bar. Holding the high volume. Higher volume coming in here. Looking for a possible test into this area now because that high volume coming in. Anticipating price to possibly come down here and test into this area. There's the test. It's going to stop me out down here. Down 836 on the day. And take another stab here as it's moving back up. Holding this area right here. Let me put my stop in here. This bar here, we could see some more continuation to the downside. I want to bleed some of the risk out. Okay, let me pay attention to what the heck is going on here. When I'm explaining so much and I'm teaching a lot, I lose the feel of the market, if that makes sense, right? Because I'm talking and I'm analyzing the markets in my head. I'm not just allowing the information come to me. I'm filtering it in a way to help you guys understand. And when I do that, I lose the market feel. I lose that connection with the market and what it's doing. So let me just go in here for a second and just focus and just trade this like I did yesterday. We're going to trade now. Up 114, up 92. Seeing a little bit of rejection here. And I go ahead and move my stop up here. Remove a little bit of the risk. 110. See if price action can come up here. I like the high volume right here, anticipating the high to break. I do not like it coming back down there again. I don't like it coming back down there at all. Coming back down here into the high volume. Where's my low at? Right here. I want to be long, if I can, right down here. Let's see if I can get filled there. There we go. Good. Filled. Beautiful. I'm going to move my stop down here. I don't like the rejection there from this level. Break even. I don't like the rejection from this level at all. Got back up into the area again. Lower low on low volume, much lower volume than we had over here. That's a potential of rejection. Looking for price action now to come up here. I'm looking for high volume into the high, break the high. Beautiful, beautiful. Now that I liked. We're going to go ahead and move this back up into the 18 because of how much problems we're having in this area. This is why I had so many trades yesterday. I remember this now. We're here in this area. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of break-even trades in here. Okay, price action is right above. I got in a little bit too late there. Price action is right above here, the area again. This is going to be a little bit of a wider stop. And I'm just going to have to do that. But this is the area where you really, 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 really want to scalp and protect your assets as much as possible. Through this area here yesterday, I just kept on scalping in this area, expecting. See, look, price action can't get lower. It can't get lower. It's trying to. It's just trading in this range. You got to keep yourself from getting caught up in the chop. How do you do that? You scalp. You scalp yourself into the positions, constantly looking at just break-even trade after break-even trade after break-even trade, anticipating price action to finally break. Once price action finally starts to break, you're able to take a little bit of profits out of the markets. We're up 250 right now. I'm locking in 90. We're up 270, 300. I'm going to go ahead and lock in 168. Let it come down and stop me out. I don't really care. I'll get back into it again. That's not an issue. The issue is I can't take another expense, and I can't keep taking expenses in this chop. How do you keep yourself from taking expenses in the chop? You trade, you scalp until the breakout happens, and then you hold. No, I'm feeling it now. I like this. Much better. Okay, price action is coming down. It's holding this area here. Looking for price action to come back up through VPOC. Beautiful. Don't even have to say anything. It's already done it. I'm going to go ahead and move my stop to 264. We're up 410, locking in 264. Worst thing we can do, get out with about 250 after slippage, whatever. Doesn't really matter. We're down 819 right now. We got ourselves a little bit of a hole. We're going to get ourselves out of it. Let's go. And grab a little bit more here because it's looking like it's going to come down. There we go. It's looking like it's going to come down and stop me out. Now, let's see if we get a lower low here. I would like to get into an area right in here. Can I get in? Please? It's not letting me. Beautiful. We're going to get in right there. I tried to get in and off of the pullback, coming back into the high volume in here. It wouldn't let me. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and get in here as soon as we come into an up bar. Why? Because we're in an up bar. Let price action come down now. Let it come down. Here's my risk. we have buyers that are coming up here and pressing the market higher. Okay, we are unable to break the lows right now. I'm anticipating the lows to hold. See the high volume in here? We need to get back above that high volume again. Back into this area, we should see a pop right through this area, back up into this area again, above this. Remember, I have $4,500 of room to work with in terms of an end of day risk scenario in my eval with no daily drawdown. I've got $4,500 as my max risk. So I don't have a max daily drawdown where the account would be bust, right? So I have $4,500 to work with. We're not even close to that being down here at all. Getting our little pop here and bleed some risk out here now. Waiting for price action to come up through the open. We tried to get through the open. We're still down here on Delta. I need Delta to turn around and go green. Delta goes green. We should pop up into this area here of VWAP pretty quickly. But we got to get into the green. We're not getting into the green. The reason why it hasn't stopped me out is because I haven't let go of the left mouse button yet. Because I'm not so sure that I want to be stopped out of this market here. But the second I am, I can let go and it'll get me out of the market down here with less of a risk than my initial 900. Remember, I'm in 8 contracts here instead of 4. See how we didn't break the low here? See how we have the higher volume in here, but we didn't break the low? Anticipating this whole area here to hold, and if it does, it's going to pop up back into the highs again. It's a chop ranged market right now. Didn't break the high. Came back down to the high volume of the bar, holding it. Testing into the high volume here. It's not holding. Delta, watch Delta, watch this bar, watch the low, watch it test into this area. Watch what it does in the test of this area. Watch the volume here. Watch how the volume brings in. Is it high volume? Is it lower volume? It's lower volume than comparatively to over here, but it's a higher volume into the low itself. Anticipate this to be tested here. Not necessarily broken, tested. There we go, limit to my risk. Now I'm only in 4 again. In case it doesn't pop, right? I'm only in 4 and limit to my risk. Finesse the entry a little bit there. Finesse the exit. Up 68. Only risking 416 now. 376. 230 on the position. Let's go. Now, we broke the high here. We don't want to cycle back down into these lows. I missed it. Hopefully it comes back and gives it to me. Nope, it's gone. All right, beautiful. 26 again. Is it going to come back down here and give it to me? See how we're holding the area now? Close back above it again after closing around it and near it and all that stuff since this whole little chop, right? We're back up here into the resistance. Need to break this high volume up here. We're only down 500 now, so down 500 more. It's only going to be 1,000. We're good to go. I'm really hoping it fills me here. Thank you. See how we dropped our entry? That's why I wanted to be filled there. Drop the entry. I'm going to grab 4 of them right up here. Am I below this low? I am. Okay, good. And I hit my risk limit on the day. I'm highly perplexed at the moment. I'm highly perplexed in the moment because of this. This isn't sim. This right here is yesterday. And I didn't take an expense trade in this at all. There was no expense trades in there at all. And I come into practice, and I was not live streaming. I did that on my own without live streaming. And now I'm in here right now in this environment live streaming, and I'm struggling with my trading. Well, this is what practice is for, and this is why we practice. All right. I'm not going to teach right now. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to see if I can just allow myself to trade in this environment. This is extremely important because if I can't do this here in practice, I can't do it live when it matters. This is actually a very, very, very good exercise for me because it's showing me that I can't do this at the live edge in front of individuals. And that really sucks. All right. Sorry, I'm not trying to blow into the microphone. Let me pause it real quick. All right, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm trading. We're going to go ahead and move this to 40 real quick. I'm going to go to 945 when I started trading yesterday. And I'm doing this for real. You can say, oh, well, you already know what price does. Well, kinda, but not really. All right. Let's do this. Have my area down here, looking for a pullback. We're at 945. I want to see how this bar closes. We're coming off of VPOC here, or the VWAP, excuse me. Finding some buyers here above VWAP. All right, stop talking. You're not teaching, you're trading. About 200. Going to lock in 134. Weaving and dodging this morning. A little bit of volatility coming into the market. So be careful. Go ahead and start scaling this a little bit, locking in a bit more profit here. There we go. 300, locking in 164. 328. Yeah, I don't like that rejection right there. I don't like that rejection at all down here. So I'm going to go ahead and lock in a little bit more profit. I'm 300, lock in 184. Beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and drop this back down again. 374 up 254, up 400. We're going to go ahead and lock in 410. And there we go. 494 on the day. Let's go. Okay. Dodging and weaving. This is good. I like this. Price action looking for continuation play to the downside. Looking for a pullback over here into this area. Price action gives me that pullback into the area. I'll be going short again. Looking for a continuation to down in this area. So how strong price action is right now to the downside. High volume there. Anticipate a bit more of a pullback. Strong delta back through the open. Here we go. Let's go. Let's look for a continuation play to the downside here. I don't like this pullback here. I'm going to give this a little bit more room. Anticipating it possibly test back up here. 440 would lock me in for a break even on the day, which is fine. I can stomach that for an expense. Holding this area here. Delta's still green. What do we do around the high? Still holding. New bar. High volume. Anticipate the high to break. We're not. We're coming through the volume here. Beautiful. Higher volume down here. Anticipate this low to break. Boom. What do we do with low? We reject. Okay. Watch this here. Beautiful. Move stop to a break even. A little bit more. 130, 128. We'll go ahead and lock in 52. 154, 134. Locking in 52, 190, 200. We're going to go ahead and lock in about 70. $208, $204, 194. Price action stops us out. Beautiful. Okay. High volume test up here into this area. You going to give it to me? Are you going to give it to me? No, you're not. You're going to break the low first, aren't you? Okay, beautiful. I don't want to be in then. I don't want to play, because that could be rejection down there. Beautiful. I like it. Weaving and dodging already this morning. I like it. I like it. I like it. 564 on the day. High volume in here. Possible rejection in this area. Since I'm not going with the trend, I want to give us a little time to develop. Let's see my pattern. Higher high. Get my target in here. There it is. Sorry if anybody's trying to talk to me in chat right now. I'm really trying to focus on my trading. I'm going to treat this just like if I'm actually trading live in this practice, because I just absolutely decimated what I did yesterday doing this right here. And it's showing me that I can't even trade at the live edge teaching this stuff. In this environment. And so I'm just testing to see if I can. Can I actually trade in this environment without having to worry about teaching and all of that stuff? Just allow myself to come in here and trade. Not moving charts around, not answering questions, not doing anything else. I'm just trading. I just had a day where I was down, what, $1,400? Maybe it was only 800. I don't know. It was a lot on a day that I was up 1633 and didn't take a single expense trade. Absolutely ridiculous. Delta, watch Delta. Delta, 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 Delta. Pay attention to Delta. I like it. Right there. I like it, I like it, I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. All right, we're gonna give it a little bit of room. Not a lot, but a little bit. A little bit, little bit, little bit. There we go. Beautiful. Like it. Even better. Thank you so much. Thank you. I am so grateful for this opportunity to be able to be here trading. And I thank you for moving into intended direction. Allow me to experience my intention. We're going to break this low. We need to break the low. If we don't break the low, I want to be out. Let's go ahead and lock in a little bit more just in case the low doesn't break. If that's all you want to give me, that's all you want to give me, and I'm grateful for what you're giving me. I'll go ahead and lock in a little bit more here, anticipating price action just move through this area. Let's go ahead and grab a little bit more. We could reject out of this area here. Let's go ahead and get a little bit more. Let's get 8 of them ready so we can get out of 4 and in with 4. Beautiful. God, I love that. I love it when a plan comes together. Now we're long 4, but my button's not working now. Ich doesn't like something. So let's go ahead and put a stop here, right down below this area. We're in. Nice down movement. Looking for a pullback back up into this high. Do we get it? Do we get it? If it comes back, snaps back down, small expense. It's not holding that volume right there. Let's give it a little bit more room. So I'm holding structure here. If we come back down into this area, we can still hold structure. A little bit of room. Let it break through here a little bit. Got plenty of revenue at $1,100 on the day. Let's just go ahead and give her some room. Give her some room. Give her some room. I can risk 340 without having any issues here. All right, all right, all right. Get back above that high volume right there, please. Can you get back above the high volume? Why, yes, you can. Can you stay there? Will you stay there? Yes, you will. I should have bought 4. Dang it. It's all right. That's all right. That's all right. I had the idea. I like the idea. That was good. That was good. That was good. Move the stop a little bit. Look for a pullback into this area. And then pop up into this area right up here for me. You know you want to. Let's see. Sellers, I don't like the delta coming in after breaking the open. Absolutely, let's go. Let's go. Through the open, green delta, back through the open again, still green delta. We get back through that open, we should pop up and break that high pretty quickly. Let's see if you're going to do it. Delta here, a little bit stronger, testing here in the area, which is just fine. And there it is, holding this. I don't like the rejection here. The green delta looking good. Can we get back above the entry? There we go. Sweet. Let's go ahead and lock in just in case it comes back against us up here off of resistance. We can always get back in at a lower price. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. We're going to hold this here. Up 200, locking in 92. Weaving and dodging. Dodging and weaving. And put it right here at this high. Like it. See if it breaks. It does not. Beautiful. 1292 on the day. Let's go. So now I want to go ahead and put in a limit order right here in case it comes back. If it closes up here above that, I'll be looking for another long off of a pullback. No close, close back below again, some rejection above us. But let's say if we hold structure down below here. We're going to put another stop down here about 170 in case it would get filled. We're going to wait. We're going to wait. I don't like how that bar closed, but we're holding structure down here. Let's see if we can get in and hold structure. Coming down nicely. Let's see if we can get into the area. Beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate the feel. Now, what you're going to do here at the low, a little bit of rejection down here. That's just nice. Beautiful. Pop back up again. Can we get up here into the high volume? Or are we going to hold this as resistance? If we hold it as resistance, I want to be out pretty quick. Move my stop to a break even. Pop, 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 pop. Okay, holding it as resistance. Let's go ahead and move us to a break even. Just in case it comes back down again, we can always get back in. Locking in 24. Beautiful. Now, do we come back down here into the area? Let's go ahead and put another 4 in here, just in case it gives it to us. Let's put our stop back down in here in case it does give it to us. Beautiful. Okay, we're back in. Pop, 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 pop. Down delta, still above the open. That's beautiful. Do we get the green delta? We should get through this area. I'm going to give it a little bit more room now. Yep. There it goes. Breaks. Beautiful. Stop to a break even now. 200. Let's go ahead and lock in 70. It's going to stop being out. Beautiful. Let's see if we can get back in down here off of this area again. We made the higher high. Holding this. What happens at the low? We're holding that area right there. Let's go ahead and buy it from right there. Green delta should be able to get through the open. If delta rises, should be able to break the high. There's the high, there's the break. Can we get up into our area, up 100? And I'll go ahead and put it in a break even. There's that. Okay. We're going to get rejection here. We're going to see some acceptance coming in here. Move the stop below the high volume. 240, 250, 290, there's 300. Beautiful. Stop up here. Locking in the 152. Time is at 10:04. Math is for what, 15 minutes? Sweet. 262. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Truly, truly appreciate doing this with you. All right. Let's see if we get back down here to this area again. We're holding the lows, not breaking the lows. Things are looking good. You know, I'm going to go ahead and pop in here just in case we break these highs. And if we break these highs, pretty aggressive with this. We break these highs, looking at us popping up here into this area. Got in a little bit too late. I wanted to be in at the open. It just, price popped first, and that's okay. It's going to happen sometimes. Let's go ahead and give this a little bit of room just in case. There we go. That's a pop I was looking for. Back to break even. Beautiful. We're up 200. Lock in 70. Another little pop here. We're going to put it right below this high volume here. 252. Let's lock in a little bit more at 156. High volume just popped, which should be anticipating price action to break. Lock in a little bit more in case if it doesn't. Is it going to break the high? Is it going to break the high? Anticipating it to, right back into the area again. Nope, let's go ahead and move it in. Just get as much as we possibly can there, if it's just a couple more ticks. All right, price action closed above. Looking for a continuation play to the upside here, but we really want to see it break the high, come back down, test into the high volume here for a potential long. Did we just fail the high over here? Yes, we did. Okay. So we want to break this high, get through the high volume. Let's get through the high volume. Let's get through the high volume. Are you going to get through the high volume for me? No. Okay. Where do we close at? How much time do we have left on this bar before we close? Where are we at? 4 seconds? 3 seconds? Beautiful. Price actions back down to the low again. Let's go ahead and short the low and put our stop right up here. We're still bearish on our higher time frames. Where's the 60 at? 10 o'clock. Are we at 10 o'clock yet? Oh yeah, we're after 10 o'clock. Where's my 5 minute? We're looking long on the 5 minute. Is that what we're doing right now? Is this the 10 o'clock bar? Let's see here. Where's 10 o'clock? Where's 10 o'clock? Where's 10 o'clock? Why am I not seeing my time? Okay, 9:55, 10, right here. Yeah, we're looking for a continuation to the downside here. Beautiful. I like it. Let's see if we can get it. Holding support right now through the area. Weren't able to break the highs. Close down to the bottom 1/3 of the bar. Right back up here into the high volume. We're going to break this high here. We are not. Not yet. Let's add another 2. Let's go ahead and put 4 in here. And let's go ahead and get out of 4 right here in case it comes back. Beautiful. I love it. And then here's the other 4 right down here. All right. Looking good. No, this is so much better. So much better. Maybe I'm just a scalper now instead of a day trader. Maybe that's what I need to focus on, is just my scalping and stop trying to get these big moves. I like the weaving and dodging. I really, really do. Let's not risk anything here. Let's go ahead and lock in another 112. And I want to be an 8 down here in case if it comes down to me. Let's go. Are you going to fill me? Are you going to fill me? There it is. Beautiful. We're back into 4. Let's close this. Let's go ahead and... damn it. Why does it keep doing that? Let's go ahead and come in here. Now this down bar that came in and closed near its low, we can see a possible range extension down here. IB is down here, and then go ahead and risk 500 on this position. I should be short here. I should really be short, not long. Let's give this a little bit of room. Let's give it a little bit of room just in case. We'll see. IB below us, extended the range a little bit, but we're over here looking for potential long positions. All right, good. Right back through the open again. Let's go ahead and move our stop here. Only risk 294. How do we get back above this area? Looking for a possible test up here. Test up here and fail. I want to be pretty aggressive on that stop. There it is. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Stop to a break even. We're up 200. Going to lock in around 70 or 80, 100, whatever it might be. Move our stop through here. There's the test of what I was looking for. Let's get it back above here just in case if it fails. And there's the fail. Beautiful. 2703. Secret. Welcome. Hello. Sorry. That is trading. That's trading. That's not hoping and praying. That's not looking for moves to go way in direction. That is trading a range, scalping out of areas, looking for continuation plays. And this is how I enjoy trading. Give this a little more room here just in case we break down. Where's my entry down here? It's over here. Where's my entry in here? Over there. I should be in another 4. Damn it. Should have been another 4 as we broke back through here. Whatever. It's fine. We can be in with 4. It's all good. All good up in the hood. $50, $70, $52. Move it up here. We break the highs. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Move it right below the lows right here. Rejection. Do we break the high here? I don't want to really move it much more. Yep, there we go. Beautiful. Now do we get up into the highs? No, we don't. We fail again. All right. This is what I'm going to need to do. Forget trying to look for the bigger plays right now. I just need to scalp. If I'm live, it's what keeps me focused in the markets. It's what keeps me going. Questions, comments, concerns. Sorry I wasn't talking to anybody there. I was really just focusing on my trading, really trying to practice the ability of being able to trade in these time frames, doing exactly what I just did here in this live environment, because what I've been doing isn't working. If I'm at my own devices, it works really well. But I come in here and I try to trade in front of you all, and just psychologically it messes with me because I want to be right. I want to have a strong performance. I want to do all these things, right? And it changes the way that I trade a bit. And if I just come in here and allow myself to trade Here are the results. That right there, the 28.49 is what I'm capable of. Right here. That's what I'm capable of when I just come in here and allow myself to trade. When I did it before, just now, what happened? It was down over 1,000 because it messes with the way that I'm trading. I need to work on this weekend. A lot. So we can see what happens. I also need to adjust this screen for you on TikTok so you can see the result of my trades right there. All right, on that note, I do have an errand that I have to go run. I'm about 11 minutes late right now. Let me go to that, and I will be back tomorrow working on stuff and doing all sorts of stuff. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I truly appreciate each and every single one of you. I apologize for the struggles that I'm having being able to trade live in front of you all. I'm working on it. I am going to get past it, hopefully. If not, I'm just going to have to just start trading on my own a little bit, getting myself to where I need to be so I have the possibility of coming in here and being able to trade and then practice in here and teach you guys. Okay? I'm working on it. I am working on it. But hopefully with this little demonstration here, you're able to see that, yes, I can come in and I can trade the markets. So rude. All right. Thank you, everybody. Truly appreciate each and every single one of you. And until next time, be safe, be kind, and know that you are loved.